Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel: The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 81 336 Soul Fusion Secret Technique. 81st of Volume 4. Translator: Shadow Knight AK. Editor: Shadow Knight AK. What sharp senses! The instant Li Wei locked eyes with Luan Sheng Linyu across the formation, he immediately fled. Moments later, Luan Sheng Linyu emerged from the courtyard, followed by Long Ting, Long Shangsen, Chen Wenwu, and several other figures. They were preparing to leave the city and head for the Thunder 36 tombs. As they reached the ancient plum tree, Luan Sheng Linyu paused, gazing up at its branches. "Young Venerable, what's wrong?" Long Ting asked. Li Wei had been extremely careful, leaving no trace behind. Even the snow piled on the branches remained undisturbed. Luan Sheng Linyu shook his head gently, smiling. The white plum blossoms on these branches are truly exquisite. In the depths of winter, when all things wither, only they burst forth with vibrant life. If one doesn't pause to appreciate such beauty and instead rushes on with their journey, life will surely be far less rich. Am I not more beautiful than it? Long Shangsen pouted playfully, her voice soft and sweet, utterly unlike that of an inheritor who had made her name 20 years ago. She sounded more like a girl just beginning to experience the pangs of first love. Both are beautiful, each in their own way, Luan Sheng Linyu replied, leading the group forward at a brisk pace. As they walked, each person employed their own methods to conceal their identities. Some altered their appearances, others donned masks, and still others activated talismans to mask their features and chi. Li Wei stood atop a 7-story bell tower, leaning against a wooden pillar, watching them leave the heavenly pavilion. He didn't stare for too long, fearing it would alert his opponent. Lu Kangsheng is already back. Li Wei's mind conjured images of Yin Ju, Yaoyan, Zhang Ning, Zuoqiu Hongting, and Shi Shi Shi, a smile involuntarily tugging at his lips. He longed to know about their experiences and stories at the Calamity Crossing Temple, how much their cultivation had advanced, and whether Yaoyan had grown into a beauty as stunning as Yao Qingshan. 2 years had passed, and a growing sense of longing filled Li Wei's heart, yet he didn't know how to face them when they finally met. Should he approach them as the Twin Rice Sect's fourth divine son? As Yao Qingshan's eldest disciple? Or as the disgraced and dejected Li Wei? He exhaled slowly, a wistful sigh escaping his lips. A fierce battle was sure to erupt at the Thunder 36 tombs. Li Wei desperately wanted to join the fray, to witness the current cultivation levels of Luan Sheng Linyu, Lu Kangsheng, and Long Ting, and perhaps seize an opportunity to eliminate Luan Sheng Linyu and Long Ting. But reason warned him that this spectacle would be exceedingly dangerous. What gave Luan Sheng Linyu the audacity to come to Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City? What emboldened him to ambush Lu Kangsheng? This presented a perfect opportunity to investigate that courtyard. Li Wei's appearance and figure rapidly shifted. His skin transformed into the pristine white of a pure immortal physique, instantly taking on Long Ting's form, elegant, noble, with piercingly cold eyes. Whoosh! With a finger pointed at the 4th grade 100-character artifact, the invisibility robe on his body, over 400 lines of scripture materialized. The scripture retracted, and the robe instantly transformed into the style Long Ting had been wearing earlier. In Long Ting's form, he walked to the courtyard gate. The formation opened from within. "Lord Long Ting, why have you returned?" The demon race martial mystic cultivator, disguised as a middle-aged man, stood respectfully at the gate, asking curiously. Li Wei, his hands clasped behind his back, walked in, his gaze fixed on the area in the southwest corner where the coffins were arranged. As he walked, he said, "Young Venerable was worried and asked me to return and check one last time. Just in case something unexpected happens after we leave." 4 demon race martial mystic cultivators were stationed in the courtyard. They wore talisman robes that concealed their demonic chi and allowed them to take human form. All were experts at the Dao Seed realm. The demon cultivator disguised as a middle-aged man followed closely behind. "Lord Long Ting, rest assured. They are all undergoing soul fusion. They should awaken within the next 2 days. Li Wei was secretly shocked. He had seen a detailed explanation of the soul fusion technique at the Twin Rice Sect's main hall. It was a method used by powerful dead spirits from the nether realm of the dead who sought to enter the mortal realm for cultivation, hunting, pleasure, or reconnaissance. The process involved capturing a living person and merging their spirit body with the person's soul spirit, allowing the dead spirit to perfectly conceal itself. However, the dead spirit's spirit body had to be far stronger than the living person's to succeed. If the 30 coffins before him contained the 30 Dao Seed Realm martial mystic cultivators Luan Sheng Linyu had brought from the Twin Rice Sect's main hall, where had he found so many dead spirit powerhouses? It was true that Luan Sheng Linyu had dead spirits under his command during the Hidden Dragon Lantern Festival. Later, the Zuoqiu sect discovered that those dead spirits originated from 3 prefectures swallowed by the nether realm of the dead 1,000 years ago. Li Wei had some understanding of the nether realm of the dead's power distribution around the Lingxiao realm, knowledge he'd gleaned from Yang Qingchen while trapped in the secret treasure vault. Those three prefectures, once part of the original 272, were considered the outer fringes of the nether realm of the dead relative to the Lingxiao realm. In the former prefecture cities, 272 ghost cities, fiend caverns, and bone palaces had been established. Internal conflicts raged within them, even more fiercely than in the Lingxiao realm. Qilin Zhuang had either subdued some of the nether realm's great powers and brought them under his banner, or he had formed alliances with certain great powers to jointly attack the Lingxiao realm. The far western Ashlands, the nether realm of the dead, the demon race, and the twin rice sect, just the thought of them made Li Wei feel like a dark cloud was pressing down on him, a sense of impending doom. The 30 coffins before him represented only the younger generation's efforts under Luansheng Linyu. What were the old demons up to? No wonder Luansheng Linyu dared to come to Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City. Perhaps the demon race had long since prepared everything, and the Cloud Heaven, Yuntian, Immortal Plane and Lingxiao City were already their prey. Hiss. Li Wei pushed open one of the coffins. Yin Fiend Qi billowed from within. An elderly man with white hair lay inside, the Yin Fiend Qi surging from the ancestral field, its spiritual Qi fluctuations as powerful as a divine drum constantly reverberating. This was an incredibly formidable expert from the imperial court, at least at the 6th level of the Dao Seed realm. He wasn't dead. His heart beat strongly, his life force vigorous. Confirming his suspicions, Li Wei's scalp prickled. Before him lay 30 terrifying dead spirit experts. If he startled them, causing them to leap from their coffins, the consequences would be unimaginable. He couldn't act rashly. First, I must leave. A sense of danger surged through Li Wei. Before he could turn, he sensed a 6th person had appeared in the courtyard, standing at the entrance. A faint fragrance wafted through the air. Remaining calm, Li Wei slowly turned and looked up at Long Shangsen, clad in a flowing, rainbow-hued dress. Large patches of her snow-white skin were exposed, her arms and legs bare, seemingly oblivious to the winter chill. She rested her chin on her jade fingers, smiling as she gazed at Long Ting, standing beside the coffin. Li Wei finally had a chance to study her closely. In terms of beauty, Long Shangsen combined the ethereal grace of an immortal with the alluring charm of the demon race. Her figure was stunning, her cleavage captivating, her skin translucent, and her hair voluminous yet perfectly styled. Li Wei muttered to himself, it seems I underestimated Luansheng Linyu's caution and vigilance. Long Shangsen chuckled, her white teeth and rosy lips gleaming. Oh, how annoying. Why aren't you even scared? I thought I could give you a good fright. What man would fear a beauty? With Miss Long's appearance, I can't help but admire you, I could never get enough, Li Wei replied, no longer the same man he once was. He now faced sudden danger with greater ease and confidence. Long Shangsen was so amused by his words that her shoulders shook. Your tongue is so sweet, I almost can't bear to kill you. You actually recognize me. Of course. You're the dragon sect's aging inheritor. Li Wei said. Long Shangsen's smile vanished instantly, replaced by a chilling frost. I'll carve you up piece by piece, starting with your tongue. The other 4 demons in the courtyard sensed the shift in atmosphere. They each drew their spiritual artifacts and slowly closed in on Li Wei, their eyes filled with hostility. They had been suspicious since the appearance of the Long Ting, but dared not offend. Where's Luansheng Linyu? Li Wei asked. Long Shangsen replied, do you think I'm not enough on my own? Luansheng Linyu wasn't certain whether someone had truly been spying earlier, so he had only sent Long Shangsen back to investigate. Miss Long, are you sure you want to strike in the heavenly pavilion? If the imperial court discovers what's here, or if they learn your secret of appearing here, you might not escape Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City alive. Li Wei appeared calm, but his nerves were taut. He scanned the surroundings, searching for an escape route. An inheritor who had already made a name for themselves 20 years ago. Who would dare underestimate them? So concerned about my safety. You're actually quite kind. Long Shangsen's lips curled into a smile as her Dao heart manifestation erupted outward. Instantly, the entire courtyard was enveloped in crimson spiritual qi, filled with demonic shadows and dense illusions. Boom. Boom. The other 4 demon race powerhouses also unleashed their Dao heart manifestations, layer upon layer, pressing down on Li Wei. It felt like 5 mountains had fallen upon him, with countless chains binding him. Li Wei knew this battle was unavoidable. He took out the golden smiling Buddha mask Yao Qingshan had given him and put it on to conceal his power fluctuations. Seeing the mask, Long Shangsen's eyes widened in surprise, so it's you. Interesting. It seems Zuo Ning wasn't your true identity either. Who exactly are you? Li Wei had worn this mask on the post ship. Long Shangsen, being discerning, recognized that Li Wei's mask was meant to conceal his aura of power. Li Wei didn't want to engage in combat here, as many of his techniques would be unusable, severely restricting his movements. If he could break through and lure Tai Shibai to this location, he could inflict a devastating blow on the demon race. 5 powerful wills descended, aiming to crush him into submission. Boom. Li Wei formed a finger seal, unleashing a surge of psychic power that countered the combined mental attack of the 5 experts. The Tao Heart manifestation of the 5th heaven continued to weigh upon him, suppressing his strength, speed, and reflexes, as if he were trapped in quicksand. From his left, a Tao Seed Realm 4th heaven demon cultivator charged forward, wielding dual axes. Countless scriptures shimmered on the axe blades, radiating blinding golden light. Li Wei sidestepped one axe, then raised his palm to meet the other. Bang! Golden crow flame enveloped his hand, while spiritual chi surged within his body. His palm struck with immense force, producing a resounding clang like metal striking metal. The Tao Seed Realm 4th heaven demon cultivator had assumed Li Wei was a great spiritual master. He never expected such raw power, capable of striking a spiritual artifact with bare hands. His fingers ached as if they would split apart. The axe flew out of his grasp. Thump! Li Wei's kick sent him flying, smashing through the glazed octagonal pavilion in the distance. Li Wei was curious about his current pure martial mystic Tao combat strength. He'd been eager to spar with someone for a while. Unfortunately, he dared not use his Tao Heart manifestation, as it would expose the secret of the dragon seed within his wind mansion. He also couldn't use the blood handprint demonic armor. In short, he was severely restricted. I never expected you to be so formidable not only in psychic power but also in martial mystic Tao cultivation. People like you are rare indeed. Long Shangsen moved slowly, carefully observing the clash between Li Wei and the 4 demon race experts. With a thought, the phantom within her Tao Heart manifestation solidified into countless demon cultivators. Their thunderous battle cries filled the sky as they surged forward like a tidal wave, engulfing Li Wei. Whoosh! The myriad manifestation staff spear shot out from the ancestral field, propelled by Li Wei's spirit light. With a thunderous roar, the 10-foot-long spear swung out, unleashing a torrent of crimson flames that sent all the phantoms and the 4 demon race experts flying. 2 of the demon cultivators were struck by the spearhead, their flesh torn open, their defenses shattered. Li Wei formed a hand seal and opened his heavenly eye. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Melworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuanhuan Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 82 337 Confronting Long Shangsen. 82nd of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. The spiritual light Lingguang, vertical eye, hovering outside the golden smiling Buddha mask, was utterly mystical, piercing through all illusions. Long Shangsen met Li Wei's gaze and felt as though she had been stripped bare under the scorching sun. It felt as though every secret she possessed would be laid bare before him. Let's call it a day here. If we continue, we'll surely alert the various martial mystic cultivators within the heavenly pavilion. Li Wei hadn't intended to fight with the heaven-opening divine eye, but it was truly difficult to maintain a calm and natural state of mind when facing her. He was at a complete disadvantage, and defeat was inevitable today. Star track patterns released by the myriad manifestations staff spear covered his entire body. Li Wei thrust his spear forward. Swoosh. A beam of crimson gold light shot from the spear's tip, shattering layer after layer of Long Shangsen's Tao Heart manifestation before striking the formation barrier above the courtyard wall. Once that barrier was breached, the ones who would truly need to worry would be Long Shangsen and the demon clan martial mystic cultivators. Just as the beam was about to hit the barrier, a palm-sized azure dragon scale appeared in its path. Then came a second, a third. Bang! Bang! Long Shangsen used 7 dragon scales to completely block the beam's power. Have you had enough fun? I haven't even started yet. Though she had been standing 7 meters away, the moment the second word left her lips, she appeared beside Li Wei. Her speed was terrifying. Claws formed from 5 fingers. Her golden nails flashed with light, leaving 4 claw marks in their wake. Li Wei's protective spirit light was truly like a mere layer of light, unable to withstand her claw marks in the slightest. Forward. Using his psychic power, Li Wei chanted the word, forward, from the 6 armored secrets incantation. The golden crow flame on his body flickered violently, its brilliance blinding. In the next instant, he appeared 10 meters away. His left arm ached from Long Shangsen's claw marks. 3 white streaks marred the left sleeve of his invisibility cloak, completely nullifying its effect. 3 bloody claw marks now adorned the back of his hand. Had he been wearing ordinary clothes, his left arm would have been severely injured. Only then did the words, "I haven't even started yet," drift into Li Wei's ears. Her speed was too fast, her cultivation too profound. Great fire evasion technique, flame flash. Long Shangsen was surprised that her attack had failed. It wasn't flame flash, but the 6 secrets incantation. Li Wei had encountered the 9 characters of the 6 secrets incantation as a child, but he dismissed them as just a spell. It wasn't until he reached the Tao Seed Realm and activated the yellow dragon sword that the 9 characters of the incantation appeared on its blade, prompting him to begin studying them. Each character was ancient and imbued with a sense of mystery. He later discovered that when combined with sight power, the incantation could unleash a variety of wondrous techniques. The character, Qian, forward, for example, could not only perform the great fire evasion technique but all 5 elements evasion techniques. Encountering fire, he could use fire evasion. Encountering water, he could use water evasion. Swish. Long Shangsen channeled the spiritual qi from her Tao heart manifestation, condensing it into countless white ribbons that wrapped around Li Wei, slowing his movements. Alternatively, the ribbons could transform into white dragons to launch a direct attack. Li Wei, fully aware of her formidable power, knew better than to engage in a direct confrontation. He also knew that a prolonged battle would lead to his defeat. He spun his myriad manifestation staff spear in a circle and slashed at the courtyard wall. The wall crumbled with a thunderous crash, causing the formation protecting the estate to violently tremble. This single strike shook the entire heavenly pavilion, sending tremors through the ground. Inside the pavilion, countless martial mystic cultivators turned their gazes toward the courtyard, knowing a battle had erupted within. An elder of the heavenly pavilion flew out to the outside the courtyard. In the moment Li Wei slowed down for a moment to swing the spear, his speed faltered, paying the price for his spear thrust. Spiritual qi white silk bound his wrist, myriad manifestation staff spear, neck, waist, and legs. Long Shangsen seized the opportunity, leaping forward to strike his face with a claw, her attack ruthless and deadly. If hit, his entire head would shatter. Li Wei had no choice but to activate the second level of the sixfold samsara burning karma technique, the karma burning wheel. He fully integrated his martial mystic power and psychic power, colliding head-on with Long Shangsen's attack. Boom! Li Wei was sent flying, crashing through another courtyard wall. Seizing the moment, he channeled the myriad manifestation staff spear, piercing the formation barrier. With a loud thud, he landed outside the courtyard, collapsing a rock garden and creating a deep crater in the ground. Long Shangsen's iridescent robes were scorched by the karma burning wheel's flames, leaving large patches burned away. Her porcelain doll-like body was nearly completely exposed, except for a few vital areas. Her eyes were cold and unyielding, but she dared not pursue him outside the courtyard. Since she didn't want her current alluring pose to be seen by countless people, and also feared her identity and whereabouts being exposed, Long Shangsen transmitted her voice to Li Wei using spiritual qi. Brother Zuo Ning, let's end it here for today. I won't expose you, and you don't reveal me. Let's pretend nothing happened. Do you know how many demon clan experts have gathered in Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City right now? If you dare shout out the secret of this courtyard, the ultimate result will be your death, and our plan will be damaged, though we can still escape calmly. Li Wei stood up, holding his staff spear. His gaze swept across the surroundings, where he saw martial mystic cultivators watching with curious eyes. He knew Long Shangsen wasn't exaggerating. The demon clan's attack on Lingxiao City was imminent. Long Shangsen seemed to be letting him leave. But as soon as Li Wei was out of sight, the hidden demon clan experts would undoubtedly assassinate him immediately to silence him. Tuoba Buchuo and Qi Xiao appeared nearby, hiding in the shadows beneath the eaves. To everyone's surprise, Li Wei brushed the dust off his clothes and grumbled, it was just a sparring match. Why did you have to hit so hard? Then, he picked up his staff spear and walked back into the courtyard's formation barrier. Wait for me at the dock. We'll leave the city together. Li Wei's voice reached Tuoba Buchuo and Qi Xiao through spiritual qi transmission. The two quickly stowed their spiritual artifacts and hurried out of the heavenly pavilion. Long Shangsen draped a wide white robe over her shoulders, transforming into an ethereal fairy, which startled Li Wei when he re-entered. The 4 demon clan experts stood on high alert, glaring at him like mortal enemies. I was merely testing your strength out of a momentary itch for battle. I am Shencang Jingyuan, the 5th divine son of the Twin Rice sect, Li Wei declared, holding his spear in one hand and clasping the other behind his back, preparing to gamble. He was betting that Long Shangsen had never met Shencang Jingyuan. After all, Shencang Jingyuan had spent years honing his skills in the nether realm of the dead, making him a rising star in the Twin Rice sect's younger generation. Long Shangsen paused for a moment, then covered her lips with a hand and chuckled. You already used the name Shencang Jingyuan on the ship. Why use it again? Are you aware that you'll die the moment you step out of the heavenly pavilion, so you've returned to gamble? Li Wei sneered, Long Shangsen, after 20 years of fame, is this all the insight you possess? You don't even recognize the sixfold samsara burning karma technique, great technique, the karma burning wheel of my Twin Rice sect. Long Shangsen narrowed her eyes, carefully recalling the karma burning wheel he had just unleashed. A look of sudden realization flashed across her face. The 30 people in the coffin were taken from the divine prison of the Twin Rice sect's cultivation headquarters by Luansheng Linyu just 5 days ago, Li Wei revealed. A 4th heaven martial mystic cultivator of the demon clan, who had previously followed Luansheng Linyu to the Twin Rice sect's cultivation headquarters, immediately sent a spiritual qi transmission to Long Shangsen. Long Shangsen's eyes lit up as she re-examined the mysterious man in the golden mask. Words alone aren't enough. If you're the Twin Rice Sect's divine son, why are Twin Rice Sect martial mystic cultivators hunting you? Who doesn't have enemies? Don't you have rivals in the demon clan? Li Wei produced his divine son life token and casually tossed it to her. Then, he turned to the 30 coffins. You demon clan are truly formidable. My sect had assumed you intended to send ember spirits to hide within their human skins. We never expected you to summon so many experts from the nether realm of the dead. A demon clan martial mystic cultivator spoke in a low voice. This is the true reason Divine Son disguised himself as Lord Long Ting to investigate, isn't it? The bloodstains on Long Shangsen's fingernails matched the blood chi emanating from the Divine Son life token perfectly, dispelling her doubts. She stamped her foot and chided him. HMPH, why are you so mischievous? You almost got yourself killed. How would you explain this to the ancestor of Twin Rice Sect? It won't come to that. I am the son of the Hall Master of the Withered Flourish Karong Hall. My father will surely avenge me. Li Wei took the life token from Long Shangsen's hand, grabbed her slender wrist, and used spiritual light Lingguang to cleanse the bloodstains from under her fingernails. This divine son has a secret mission to complete. If today's events are leaked, the demon clan will bear full responsibility. If our secret is revealed, divine son, you won't be able to bear the consequences either. After issuing this threat, Long Shangsen smiled charmingly. Divine Son, at such a young age, your psychic power cultivation and martial mystic path cultivation have already reached an extraordinary level. Shangsen is truly impressed. Why don't we return to the City Lord's manor together? I fear Brother Tai Shi might misunderstand. In truth, Li Wei feared Luansheng Linyu and Long Ting's return, which would expose his identity. He added, I have an important mission in Lingxiao City. I must take my leave. Oh, right. I know you demon clan members want to kill me to silence me. But my companions are already hiding outside the city. If I die here, how will you explain this to the divine sect? With that, Li Wei stored the myriad manifestation staff spear in his ancestral field and quickly left the courtyard. Long Shangsen watched his retreating figure, her smile fading. It seems the Twin Rice cult is rife with internal factions. This man's innate talent is extraordinary. His psychic power and martial mystic path, when unleashed, rival the combat strength of an ordinary Dao Seed Realm cultivator at the fifth heaven. I'll leave this place to you. Move quickly. Li Wei immediately left the city, not daring to linger for a moment. Within the Twin Rice sect, he was surrounded by enemies, with few he could truly trust, let alone allies. The best way to conceal a secret was to eliminate all witnesses, as long as it could be done without anyone knowing. After meeting up with Tuoba Buchuo and Qi Xiao, the three of them concealed their auras and quickly entered the mountains, preparing to follow the Shu Mountain heavenly vein toward South Yan Pass. Long Shangsen's cultivation is at least at the fifth heaven of the Dao Seed Realm, on par with the Nine Jai Kings. I couldn't even withstand a single move from her, so I couldn't gauge her true strength, Li Wei lamented to his companions. Qi Xiao was visibly shocked. The one who struck you down was her. Is she working with the demon clan? It's more than just working together, Li Wei replied, recalling the image of Long Shangsen riding on Luansheng Linyu's leg. He felt sorry for Tai Shi Bai and vowed to warn him if he ever got the chance. Tuoba Buchuo glanced at Li Wei, his expression complex. What truly stuns me, Brother Wei, is that you've already gained the ability to spar with her. The demon clan's ambitions are vast, and they're collaborating with the nether realm of the dead, a deep partnership, no doubt. Wait, what's this? Li Wei stopped his movement technique and dropped from the treetop to the ground. The scene before him had been a vast expanse of mountains and dense forests of pine and cypress, stretching as far as the eye could see. But suddenly, a vast black desert appeared. The sand was as fine as dust, and when the wind swept across it, bright sparks of fire danced in the air, swirling through the valley. It's an ashen region. There's an ember spirit expert nearby. Li Wei's pupils contracted. He quickly retreated, disappearing back into the dense forest. He knew that an ashen region was the Dao heart manifestation of an ember spirit expert, a realm where everything around them was consumed by flames, reduced to dust and sparks. Boom! A deafening thunderclap echoed from the depths of the valley, shaking the surrounding peaks. This was followed by an avalanche. Two overbearing forces are clashing. It's likely an ember spirit expert and a high-ranking figure from the Thundercloud sect. Tuoba, what kind of path did you lead us down? Did you bring us into the 36 Thunder Tombs? The three of them fled, desperate to escape the area as quickly as possible. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuanhuan Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 83 338 The 36 Thunder Tombs. 83rd of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. The cloud heaven, Yuntian, immortal plane, legend says, fell from the outer heavens. Its sheer cliffs rise 1,000 ren on all sides, connected to the world only by 4 heavenly veins, which serve as the 4 paths to Lingxiao City. The Zushan Shu Mountain heavenly vein is one of these. Thousands of years ago, the Thundercloud sect ruled the cloud heaven Yuntian immortal plane. At its peak, every member of the Thundercloud sect called themselves a celestial god, looking down upon all living beings. Their strength was so great that they could suppress the 4 directions of the Nether Realm. Within the Zushan heavenly vein lies the Thunder 36 tombs, rumored to house the remains of 36 transcendents from the Thundercloud sect's history. Each of these transcendents cultivated the thunder method, capable of flying through the sky, traversing the earth, and achieving anything they desired. Countless immortal realm great powers and Dao Seed realm martial mystic cultivators were buried alongside them. Such a vast tomb complex, filled with untold treasures, has made countless cultivators' eyes turn red with envy. Yet, in the thousands of years since its construction, no one has ever been known to open a single transcendent tomb. Instead, many have vanished within its depths, leaving no trace behind. Various legends surround the Thunder 36 tombs. Some say that during its peak, the Thundercloud sect's martial mystic Dao ancient heavenly emperor laid down a deadly great formation here. Each transcendent who built their tomb then added their own layers of killing formations, all linked to the main formation. One trap nested within another, ensuring that any grave robber would meet a gruesome end. Others claim that the Thundercloud sect's guardian beast, the Yan Kli, is not dead. It lies hidden within one of the tombs, plotting to reclaim the cloud heaven Yuntian immortal plane, avenge its fallen masters, and restore the Thundercloud sect to its former glory. In short, the Thunder 36 tombs were a mountainous region shrouded in thick mist and fraught with danger. Aside from the Thundercloud sect martial mystic cultivators who came to pay respects to their ancestors every 60-year cycle, few martial mystic cultivators dared to trespass. The Ashen region Li Wei and his companions had just encountered spanned over 10 miles, resembling a black desert saturated with the aura of death. One could only imagine how formidable the ember spirits within must be. Upon learning of Lu Kangsheng's return, Tuoba Buchuo was visibly moved. Lu Kangsheng is hailed as the Thundercloud sect's once-in-a-millennium prodigy. He mastered 36 thunder annihilation formations in the 5 Seas realm. Now, he likely commands 72. He is destined to become the Thundercloud sect's future sect leader. If he enters the Thunder 36 tombs to pay respects, he will undoubtedly be accompanied by a powerful protector. Could the earlier clash have been between Lu Kangsheng's and Luan Sheng Linyu's protectors? Qi Xiao speculated. Tuoba Buchuo nodded. Very likely. Elder figures rarely intervene in conflicts between juniors. They don't want them to feel they always have a safety net, encouraging recklessness. Instead, they seek to temper them, to force them to confront life and death trials. Otherwise, their ability to withstand pressure will be severely lacking, their actions will lack foresight, and they will be incapable of making critical survival decisions. Such a sect leader would ultimately bring ruin to their sect. Protectors exist to prevent elders from resorting to underhanded tactics. Li Wei stopped on a ridge and gazed ahead. In the night's embrace, ancient and majestic mountains loomed before them, grand and imposing, their peaks layered one upon another. Snow-capped summits reflected the moonlight, jagged rocks clung to the mid-slopes, and dense, black forests blanketed the valleys below. On some of the mountains, they could make out structures typically found only outside grand tombs, watchtowers, square cities, tomb walls, and sacred paths. Silence reigned, not a bird or beast stirred, the eerie stillness chilling to the bone. Li Wei's expression turned grave. We've traveled at least 150 miles into the mountains, yet Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City remains nowhere in sight. But I remember we only entered the mountains less than 100 miles ago. Have we taken a wrong turn? Qi Xiao's face crumpled. No doubt about it, we've stumbled into the Thunder 36 tombs. Legend has it that the ancient heavenly emperor of the Thundercloud sect once laid down a grand formation here, expanding the territory and saturating the area with spatial energy. The heaven, earth, and law spiritual chi here is completely different from the outside world. Tuoba Buchuo tugged at his hair. After leaving the city, I made sure to avoid the Thunder 36 tombs while leading the way. Could it be? I heard on the post ship that a strange power emanating from Fu Prefecture has enveloped all of Liang Province. Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City, being so close to Fu Prefecture, couldn't possibly have escaped its influence, could it? Could the Twin Rice sect's corpse sowing rice have awakened the corpses in the Thunder 36 tombs, causing this land to undergo a strange transformation? As the words hung in the air, the biting wind on the hillside and the swaying shadows of the trees around them sent a chill that felt like plunging into an ice cellar through the 3 companions. Li Wei remained calm. Even if the Thunder 36 tombs have truly become a source of supernatural events, that's a problem for the Thundercloud sect and the Imperial Court to worry about. Our top priority is to find a way out of this ghostly place. Conceal your chi. Something's moving. Accompanied by muffled thunder, 4 figures enveloped in thunder and lightning fled from a mountain pass in the snow-capped mountains over 10 miles away. They moved with incredible speed, each employing a unique body technique as they raced toward the plains between the distant peaks. Upon closer inspection, they could be seen wearing thunderclap sect robes. Then, a piercing scream echoed through the heavens. The sonic wave was so intense that it caused Li Wei and his companions' eardrums to ache, a testament to the creature's profound cultivation. A giant silver feather eagle, its wings spanning dozens of meters, soared overhead, creating a powerful hurricane as it pursued the fleeing figures into the plains. Its body rapidly contracted and shrank, transforming into a human form as it seized the slowest of the thunder and lightning-clad figures. PFF'd. Amidst a sinister chuckle, the Thundercloud sect true disciple screamed as the silver-winged great sage's claw tore him in half at the waist. His internal organs spilled onto the ground, a gruesome and brutal sight. Tuoba Buchuo stood in the shadows beneath a tree, eyes wide, transmitting through spiritual energy. That fellow is the silver-winged great sage of Yin Mountain, a descendant of the Silver Feather Eagle King. He's incredibly bloodthirsty and feared throughout the Northern Territory. He's even on equal footing with my father. The one being hunted appears to be a true inheritance disciple of the Thundercloud sect. The Silver Feather Eagle King was one of the 4 transcendent demon clans in the Lingxiao realm, once the master of the 8,000-mile Yin Mountain range. A Dao Seed realm demon dares to call himself a great sage. That's far too arrogant. Even the Silver Feather Eagle King perished outside Chu Prefecture City. Who does he think he is? Qi Xiao snorted coldly. When demons kill humans, every human feels a sense of shared fate, their hearts filled with rage. Li Wei turned his gaze to the remaining 3 Thundercloud sect disciples, all in the Dao Seed realm. One was a middle-aged man with a full beard, flanked by a young male and female pure immortal physique true inheritance disciples. The woman, tall and slender, was someone Li Wei recognized. It was Qin Qian, who owed him 500,000 Yongquan coins. The silver-winged great sage gaped, silver light flashing in his throat as he swallowed the Thunderclap sect disciple he had torn in 2 whole. He patted his belly contentedly. Then, his massive silver wings unfurled, and he pursued the remaining 3 disciples with a cruel laugh. Don't bother running, he sneered, none of you will escape. A Dao Seed realm pure immortal physique will be even more delicious. Li Wei averted his gaze and spotted 2 powerful demon race experts on the peaks of snow-capped mountains in the distance. Their chi was formidable, and they had taken human form, blocking the Thunderclap sect disciples' escape routes. Li Wei had no particular connection to the Thunderclap sect, but he would gladly weaken Luan Sheng Linyu's forces if he could. Moreover, the Thunderclap sect disciples were bound to know how to navigate the Thunder 36 tombs. Want to make some money? He asked. Tuoba Buchuo chuckled. Seizing 2 Dao lotuses and selling them would fetch a fortune in cultivation resources. The flesh of Dao Seed realm demons is a delicacy highly sought after by the Heavenly Pavilion in the Immortal Forest, Qi Xiao added, his interest piqued. Li Wei countered, killing people is never as profitable as saving them. Luan Sheng Linyu gazed into the distance, where Lu Kangsheng and Long Ting were locked in battle beneath a magnificent mausoleum. Thunder and lightning intertwined, an azure dragon soared, and figures flickered like phantoms. After listening to Long Shangsen's account, Luan Sheng Linyu smiled faintly. 5th Divine Son, Sikong Jingyuan. You've been deceived. Confusion clouded Long Shangsen's eyes. Impossible. The Divine Son life token can't be fake. It's true he's a Divine Son of the Twin Rice sect. But why would he wear a special spiritual artifact mask to conceal his aura? Luan Sheng Linyu continued, according to your description, this person has mastered the transformation technique to the point where it's impossible to distinguish truth from falsehood. His psychic power and martial mystic Dao both rank among the top tier of the younger generation. There's only one person who fits this description. During my recent trip to the Twin Rice sect's main hall, someone leaked his information to me, but unfortunately, I didn't have time to meet him. Damn him for deceiving me. I'll go after him right now. Divine Son or not, I'll cut out his lying tongue first. Long Shangsen declared. If it's truly him, I must go myself. You stay here and deal with Lu Kangsheng. Luan Sheng Linyu turned his gaze back to the distant battlefield. Calamity Crossing Temple is no simple matter. Lu Kangsheng is already completely suppressing Long Ting without even using the Thunder Annihilation formation. Long Ting inherited the Dragon Soul and the Azure Dragon's willpower from the Long Dian. At the same cultivation level, he shouldn't be losing to him. On the vast plains stretching for dozens of miles, melting snow from the snow-capped mountains converged into rivers in high Z. The silver-winged great sage released his Dao heart manifestation. Silver spiritual chi, like threads and strands, wrapped around Qin Qian and another true inheritance disciple of the Thundercloud sect, pulling them toward him like marionettes. The middle-aged man with a thick beard, an outer sect elder of the Thundercloud sect, unleashed his Thunder Lightning Dao technique. Boom, boom, boom. Lightning bolts crisscrossed the sky, striking the silver-winged great sage repeatedly. The silver-winged great sage used the pair of silver wings on his back to shield himself. With a hearty laugh, he activated his wind-riding body technique, a streak of silver colliding with the outer sect elder, sending him flying. Bones cracked and shattered within the elder's body. Blood gushed from all 7 orifices as he crashed to the ground. Qin Qian and the other true inheritance disciple of the Thundercloud sect broke free from the silver spiritual qi and lunged forward from left and right to rescue their elder. But the silver-winged great sage waved his hand, sending them flying. One plunged into the icy, bone-chilling high Z, while the other slammed against a cliff face. The disparity in cultivation was too great. The 3 of them combined were no match for the silver-winged great sage. Qin Qian surfaced from the frigid depths of the high Z, her long hair dripping wet, her face pale, and her body numb with pain. She found it difficult to even circulate her spiritual qi. Seeing the silver-winged great sage holding the outer sect elder in his hand, preparing to tear him in two just as he had done before, Qin Qian gritted her teeth in hatred, yet was powerless to stop him. With a voice choked with grief, she cried out, "Eldest brother has returned. When he arrives, you will all die." The silver-winged great sage glanced at her and sneered, "Lu Kangsheng. If he could have come, he would have already saved you. Clearly, he's still brooding over Long Ting's words from before, just waiting for me to kill you all. But I'll spare you. The woman he doesn't want, I will take. Ha ha ha. Who's there? Impossible. He must be held back by Long Ting." Qin Qian's eyes reddened. Not only was her body racked with pain, but her heart ached unbearably. She couldn't accept the silver-winged great sage's words. The silver spiritual qi the silver-winged great sage had injected into her body was impossible to refine, leaving her without the strength even to leap from the water. Li Wei, clad in a broad black robe and wearing a golden mask, strode forward step by step, myriad manifestations staff spear in hand, toward the lake at the foot of the snow-capped mountain. The spearhead pointed downward, with the earth spirit seed perched atop it. A childlike, eerie laughter echoed through the mountains, emanating from the earth spirit seed's mouth. Li Wei absorbed all the light around him, turning a radius of several dozen feet into a dark void, making him appear utterly sinister. Not only did the silver-winged great sage grow wary, secretly circulating his spiritual qi, but the Thundercloud sect's true disciple and Qin Qian also felt their hearts clench. The figure before them seemed anything but benevolent. Li Wei glanced at Qin Qian in the water and chuckled hoarsely, "It seems your Thundercloud sect is doomed today. 3 Dao Seed Realm lives should be worth at least 1.5 million Xuanhuan coins. Who's willing to pay?" Li Wei's price was fair and consistent, he didn't believe in taking advantage of others' misfortune. The Thundercloud sect's true disciple, blood staining his lips, asked uncertainly, "Senior, are you here to save us?" "I'm here to do business," Li Wei corrected. The true disciple's face lit up with wild joy. He had thought they were doomed, but now there was a glimmer of hope. As long as they could survive, no amount of money would be too much. Zhao Qinfeng said urgently, "As long as Senior is willing to intervene, I'll gladly offer not just 1.5 million Xuanhuan coins, but 2 million. "Very well, 2 million it is." Li Wei agreed, "But can you make that decision? Do you even have that much money?" 2 million Xuanhuan coins was a sum Zhao Qinfeng couldn't possibly raise even if he sold everything he owned. He turned to Qin Qian for help. Qin Qian thought Zhao Qinfeng was an utter fool. He'd just driven the price up from 1.5 million to 2 million Xuanhuan coins. But in this situation, survival was paramount. As for repayment, without written proof, who would dare to demand repayment from the Thundercloud sect? She said, "As long as Senior can save Elder Lin and escort the 3 of us back to Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City, we'll honor the debt." "That's good to hear." Li Wei nodded lightly. Qin Qian and Zhao Qinfeng were overjoyed. They couldn't believe this person was so easily deceived. He hadn't even made them swear an oath in the name of the Thunder Gods. Li Wei looked at the silver-winged great sage across from lake. "I'm here to make money, not to fight. Hand over the person and leave." Cackle. The silver-winged great sage's laughter was strange, like the squawk of poultry. His eyes were cold. "Old man, do you even know who you're provoking? We serve Lord Qilin. If you don't want to die, scram." 2 figures of demon race experts in the distance moved swiftly, converging from behind to encircle Li Wei. Li Wei stood straight, releasing his psychic power into the myriad manifestation staff spear. Swoosh. The earth spirit seed at the spear's tail cried out loudly, its belly glowing brightly. Immediately, yin qi from the earth surged toward the staff spear, forming a swirling vortex of gray-black storm that enveloped Li Wei. This was the earth spirit seed's innate ability. Born from absorbing yin qi from the earth, it had lived for several thousand years. Sensing the increasingly potent and bone-chilling aura radiating from Li Wei, the silver-winged great sage's expression shifted dramatically. He spread his wings, preparing to flee. "Now, you have nowhere to run. Stay here." Li Wei locked onto him with psychic power and struck out with his staff from across the distance. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 84 339 Facing Luansheng Linyu. 84th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Energy ripples surged from the staff, causing the air to boil. The Earth's spirit child cried even harder, a blinding beam of light erupting from his head. The Earth's yin energy swirled and danced, entwining with the beam as it shot dozens of meters and struck the silver-winged great sage. Boom. The silver-winged great sage's face was etched with horror as he frantically unleashed 3 spiritual artifacts. Bang! 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 Every defensive measure was shattered in a single blow. Silver feathers rained from his body as he grunted in pain, plummeting toward the ground. His opponent was simply too powerful, and his methods were utterly strange. The ability to manipulate the Earth's yin energy didn't seem like something someone in the living realm could do. Despite his Dao Seed realm, 5th heaven cultivation, he couldn't even withstand a single strike. Before the silver-winged great sage could hit the ground, Li Wei stepped onto the lake's surface, chasing the wind and moon, covering dozens of meters in an instant. Carrying the Earth's yin energy, he swung his staff and struck the silver-winged great sage's chest. A psychic master in close combat. You. Cough. The silver-winged great sage was sent flying sideways, blood gushing from his chest. He crashed heavily onto the ground, sending soil and stones flying. The Thundercloud sect's outer sect elder, originally intended as a bargaining chip, tumbled from his grasp and rolled to the side. The silver-winged great sage's cultivation was incredibly profound. If he had fought Li Wei with his life on the line, he wouldn't have been defeated so quickly and so utterly. Many of his techniques never even had a chance to be unleashed. He had misjudged his own speed and Li Wei's long-range combat abilities. Li Wei, wielding the Golden Crow Flame, already possessed the power to contend with a 5-star spiritual master. The myriad manifestation's staff spear was no ordinary weapon. When infused with the Earth's yin energy, the combat prowess unleashed by his psychic power cultivation was unimaginable. Li Wei pursued the silver-winged great sage relentlessly, denying him any opportunity to gather his strength and rise. Meanwhile, hidden in the shadows, Tuoba Buchuo unleashed the 7th grade 100-character artifact, the Golden Mirror, instantly obliterating the head of a 4th heaven Dao Seed Realm demon clan martial mystic cultivator. He then swiftly charged forward to harvest the Dao Lotus. Qi Xiao's opponent, a 3rd heaven Dao Seed Realm demon cultivator, was being relentlessly pursued by the spectral image of his scaled lion war beast. Moments later, Tuoba Buchuo joined forces with Qi Xiao to kill the demon cultivator. Boom. Li Wei descended from the sky, his battle weapon resembling both a staff and a spear. Without giving the silver-winged great sage a chance to retaliate, he impaled him through the heart with a single thrust. The humanoid corpse reverted to its original form, rapidly expanding into a silver-winged eagle dozens of meters long and weighing at least hundreds of thousands of pounds. Its head alone was the size of a house. Selling its meat, bones, and feathers would fetch a considerable sum. The 3 of them dared not linger in this place. Before engaging in battle, they had already decided to make it swift and decisive. After plucking the Dao Lotus, Li Wei sealed the silver-winged great sage's corpse in his boundary pouch. He then gestured, summoning the 3 members of the Thundercloud sect. Qin Qian had already refined the silver spiritual energy within her. She leapt from the water, her gaze fixed on Li Wei, not with gratitude, but with terror. After all, this was a deal fraught with uncertainty from the start. Who knew what the old man's true motives were? He might be even more vicious than the silver-winged great sage himself. They were far from escaping a tiger's jaws. Faced with such a formidable figure, the 3 members of the Thundercloud sect dared not flee, nor did they dare renege on their debt for the moment. Hearing Li Wei's summons, they grew even more tense. You should know how to leave the 36 Thunder Tombs, right? Lead the way quickly. We need to get out of here as soon as possible. Damn. He's coming. Li Wei's senses were sharp. He sighed inwardly and turned to face the distant mountain pass. Brother Wei, it's been 2 years. Now that we've finally met, why are you in such a hurry to leave? Luansheng Linyu's youthful voice echoed through the mountains. In the next instant, he soared from above the mountain pass, his wings spread wide. Even from a mile away, his flowing silver mask transformed into dozens of razor-sharp silver shuttles, raining down on Li Wei and his companions like a meteor shower. This spiritual artifact was extraordinary, shifting between liquid and solid states with countless variations and immense power. Luansheng Linyu's Dao heart manifestation was vast beyond imagination, locking everyone in place with his overwhelming intent. The 3 disciples from the Thundercloud sect were petrified, unable to even twitch a finger. Seeing Luansheng Linyu himself arrive, they were terrified out of their wits. Over the past year, Luansheng Linyu had carved out a formidable reputation in the Lingxiao realm, slaying numerous human clan masters listed in the Jiazi register. He grew stronger with each battle, his record increasingly glorious, and he seemed poised to ascend all the way to the immortal realm. Major powers of the human clan had dispatched elder experts to deal with him, but he had always escaped, leaving them empty-handed. Form the formation. Li Wei stared at Luansheng Linyu, his eyes blazing with resolve. He reversed the myriad manifestation staff spear, pointing the tip upward and the earth spirit child downward. Raising the staff spear above his head, he unleashed the full force of his psychic power from the spirit realm. A golden-red radiance illuminated the entire wilderness. Tuoba Buchuo and Qi Xiao, their faces hidden behind masks, strained with all their might to reach Li Wei, preparing to combine their three-man formation to confront their former formidable foe, Luansheng Linyu. But it was already too late. A sight beyond anyone's expectations unfolded. Whoosh! Li Wei's body was enveloped in streaks of starlight. Above him, the celestial dome stirred, drawing down every star's brilliance. Like radiant trails pulled by the myriad manifestation staff spear, the spear's tip blazed with blinding light. Li Wei suddenly swung the myriad manifestation staff spear, conjuring a wall of light formed from spiritual light Lingguang and starlight to block the dozens of incoming silver shuttles. Luansheng Linyu's cultivation far surpassed that of the silver-winged great sage. The dozens of silver shuttles contained terrifying power, capable of mountains toppling seas overturning force, as if dozens of experts had combined their attacks into a single strike. The impact staggered Li Wei back half a step. He could only spin the myriad manifestation staff spear, diverting the overwhelming force to the side. Boom! The dozens of silver shuttles veered and plunged into the sea, causing the entire lake surface to explode. In terms of combat strength, he's even stronger than Long Shangsen, Li Wei realized. He knew his prolonged accumulation in the Five Seas realm had left him significantly behind Luansheng Linyu, and he couldn't afford to clash head-on. He enveloped the three members of the Thundercloud sect in spiritual light Lingguang, and swiftly retreated, landing on the opposite side of the lake to regroup with Tuoba Buchuo and Qi Xiao. Whoosh! Luansheng Linyu retracted his wings and landed on the opposite shore, his silver hair flowing in the wind. He glanced at Li Wei with a look of surprise. The young man's earlier technique had been extraordinary. Li Wei himself was filled with doubt, glancing up at the starry sky above. The myriad manifestation staff spear could actually harness the power of the stars for its own use. Li Wei had once heard Elder Shu mention that the Twin Rice sect's imperial technique, called the 3000 Starry Bhagavata, could summon the power of celestial stars to cultivate oneself and launch attacks. The myriad manifestation staff spear's ability to mimic such an imperial technique suggested an extraordinary origin, likely a crucial spiritual artifact of the Bhagavata sect. Qin Qian stood behind Li Wei, recalling Luansheng Linyu's scream of, "Brother Wei." A chilling certainty dawned on her. This smiling Buddha was very likely the same person. His actions were too similar. She whispered, "Are you Li Wei?" Li Wei didn't answer. With a wave of his sleeve, he sent the three of them flying. Then, he planted the myriad manifestation staff spear in the ground and chanted the character, Zan, formation from the Six Jaw Secrets incantation. Whoosh! A beam of spiritual light Lingguang shot from his brow, sketching formation plates across the surrounding heavens and earth. Each formation plate was filled with golden characters, Zan, formation. This character differed from the formation scriptures of this world, originating from one of the 9 characters on the yellow dragon sword. Li Wei, as the scorching sun, bathed the surroundings in radiant light, supporting the formation. Tuoba Buchuo, holding a golden mirror as the moon, absorbed the sun's power, standing beside him. Qi Xiao, wielding a battle saber with a divine swiftness talisman affixed to his chest, stood at the edge of the formation, swiftly flying along with the formation plate's rotation. This was a combined attack formation Li Wei had devised by modifying the Twin Rice sect's sun, moon, and stars grand formation, incorporating the Zan formation scripture from the Six Jaw Secrets incantation. During his year-long confinement in the southern Purity Nanqing Palace, he hadn't been idly cultivating. One day, 1 month, 1 star. The sun took the lead in combat, the moon provided support, and the stars launched the surprise attacks. Through the formation, the three's powers could be transferred and combined. In truth, releasing the 7 phoenix-winged moth emperors would have formed an 8-star formation, making it even more powerful. However, Li Wei didn't trust Luansheng Linyu's certainty about his identity. The earlier exchange had clearly been a test, so he chose not to reveal his true identity just yet. Luansheng Linyu was indeed suspicious at that moment. The man before him had an aura completely different from Li Wei's. Moreover, his mastery of psychic power was astonishingly high, not just in realm but also in psychic techniques and formations. 2 years ago, Li Wei was at most a great spiritual master in the Earth-Fire realm. He couldn't believe anyone in this world could cultivate their psychic power to such a level in just 2 years. Luansheng Linyu noticed the demon clan martial mystic cultivator's blood on the ground and probed again. "I didn't expect your psychic power cultivation to have advanced so far in just 2 years. With such talent, what does it matter whether you cultivate the psychic path or not?" Li Wei rasped, "Young venerable, what are you suspecting? I know your combat prowess is formidable, but this old man's century of cultivation isn't for show. If you want to fight, let's get it over with. Luansheng Linyu was intensely interested in the golden-faced Buddha before him. Why are you calling yourself, this old man, again? Aren't you the fifth divine son, Sikong Jingyuan? Haha, just a little trick. I never thought I'd actually fool that slut Long Shangsen. She couldn't even tell the fake divine son's life token from the real one. When I transform into your form in the future and lure her into bed, she probably won't even realize it and will serve me wholeheartedly. Li Wei changed his tone, adopting the manner of a demonic path old monster to avoid making Luansheng Linyu think he was deliberately explaining himself. He didn't expect to fool him completely, only to muddy the waters. After all, the entire Lingxiao realm was likely to become a murky mess anyway. As expected, Luansheng Linyu's suspicions vanished at these words, replaced by pure killing intent. You saved the Thundercloud sect's people, yet they abandoned you. The three members of the Thundercloud sect fled in different directions. Qin Qian glanced back repeatedly, her curiosity piqued, but she dared not linger. They're all my prey. They won't escape. Sooner or later, I'll turn them all into puppet rice slaves, just like those two. Li Wei made no attempt to conceal his affiliation with the Twin Rice sect. Seeing that his opponent remained utterly impenetrable, revealing not a single flaw, Luansheng Linyu's patience wore thin. If he could just kill Li Wei, the truth would be revealed. The dozens of silver shuttles circling him coalesced into a single staff. Swish. Using some unknown form of teleportation, Li Wei vanished and reappeared instantly within the formation. Luansheng Linyu hadn't underestimated his opponent. He had been observing the formation closely, noting that Qi Xiao, at the outermost edge, had the weakest cultivation. He planned to attack from the weakest point and work his way inward. Luansheng Linyu had assumed a casual strike would be enough to cleave his opponent in two. But his fastest staff strike had missed entirely. This sun, moon, and stars grand formation was like a colossal grinding wheel. Li Wei, who controlled the formation at its center, could shift Qi Xiao's position on the outermost edge with a mere turn of his wrist. Excellent. Luansheng Linyu, today is your day to die. Li Wei deliberately shouted this, hoping to exploit Luansheng Linyu's unfamiliarity with the sun, moon, and stars grand formation to unsettle him and gain an advantage. So confident. Luansheng Linyu abandoned Qi Xiao and charged straight toward Li Wei at the formation's center. His movement triggered a chain reaction. Li Wei, Tuoba Buchuo, and Qi Xiao all moved in together. Li Wei channeled the Earth's yin energy and thrust his spear forward, unleashing a dazzling web of light beams from its tip. Hiss. Luansheng Linyu's silver staff struck the myriad manifestation's staff spear, and in that instant, he was stunned to find Tuoba Buchuo appearing beneath him and Qi Xiao's blade cleaving down toward his head. It all happened in a flash. Boom. Li Wei took the full force of Luansheng Linyu's attack, instantly suffering severe injuries. His internal organs churned violently, and he barely managed to suppress a mouthful of blood, standing ramrod straight despite the pain. His mask concealed his true condition. If necessary, he would have to unleash the 7 phoenix-winged moth emperors at full power. Luansheng Linyu met Tuoba Buchuo's golden mirror with his palm and took Qi Xiao's blade squarely on his head. The sensation was like being struck by a blunt club. If Qi Xiao's cultivation had been just one realm higher, he would have been severely injured. This formation was too strange, too unfamiliar. Luansheng Linyu quickly broke free and fled. The formation is quite good, but your cultivation is far too lacking. Next time we meet, I'll cut you down again. PFF'd. PFF'd. After Luansheng Linyu disappeared, Li Wei and Tuoba Buchuo each coughed up a mouthful of blood, both severely wounded. He's too strong, Qi Xiao muttered, still baffled. He stood there and let me strike him, yet I couldn't even wound him. Why did he run? Quick, the people from Phoenix Terrace are coming. Luansheng Linyu is fleeing to avoid them. Li Wei looked into the distance, where he saw several women in Phoenix Terrace official robes atop the snow-capped mountain. They resembled celestial maidens, with light wings on their backs and feet resting on clouds of spiritual qi, hurrying towards the lake. The three immediately activated their divine swiftness talismans and pursued the fleeing Thundercloud sect disciples. With Li Wei's current mastery of mental power, he had incorporated the Xing move character from the 6 Jaw Secrets incantation into each divine swiftness talisman, making them priceless treasures. Even the spiritual master would have exclaimed at his genius upon seeing them, and the 6 Jaw Secrets incantation could even help him escape from a 7th heaven Dao Seed realm expert. The reason they hadn't fled earlier was because they had been enveloped by Luansheng Linyu's Dao Heart manifestation, locked in place by his intent. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 4, Xuansheng Dao Sect Twin Rice Sect. Chapter 85 340 The Hidden Lord. 85th of Volume 4. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. The Phoenix Terrace expert's target was clearly Luan Sheng Linyu. They ignored Li Wei and his companions. Half an hour later, Li Wei, Zhao Qinfeng, and Qin Qian, along with the 3 members of the Thundercloud sect, broke free from the Thunder 36 Tombs formation. Standing on a low mountain, they could now see the city walls and lights of Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City. The heaven, earth, and law spiritual qi began to flow again, no longer stagnant. Li Wei exhaled deeply and glanced back. The towering mountains behind them remained silent and eternal, shrouded in a deep, hazy mist. It felt like another world entirely. For now, they were safe. Zhao Qinfeng, exhilarated by his narrow escape, clasped his hands in gratitude. Thank you, senior, for saving us. May I ask your name? The Thundercloud sect will surely repay your kindness handsomely. No need for a handsome reward. Just give me money, Li Wei replied in a detached tone, his expression cold and impersonal. Zhao Qinfeng's face flushed with embarrassment as he turned to Elder Lin and Qin Qian. Elder Lin was a highly skilled cultivator, while Qin Qian came from a prominent family. Elder Lin knew the mysterious old man's psychic power was formidable, capable of battling even Luan Sheng Linyu. He dared not offend him and bowed respectfully. We owe you our lives, and we should repay you even if it means bankrupting ourselves. But 2 million Yongquan coins is simply too much. We truly cannot afford it at the moment. Li Wei's expression darkened. Were you deceiving me earlier? I took a great risk to save you. We wouldn't dare, senior. We had no such intention. Zhao Qinfeng was terrified, cursing himself for not escaping fast enough to avoid being caught by this ancient monster. In the face of death, he would have given all his wealth. But now that they were safe, every Yongquan coin represented his hard-earned money. Li Wei was a man of his word and expected the same from others. Hand over everything valuable you have, including your ancestral field and any spiritual artifacts from your wind mansion. Qin Qian had been watching him closely, unsure if this was truly Li Wei. She knew that if she asked directly, he would never admit it. So she said, I'd like to speak with you privately, senior. What's there to talk about? Stop playing games. If you push me too far, I'll sell you all off. You claim to have 2 million Yongquan coins, but you can't even pay a fraction of it. You're driving me mad. Li Wei growled. Qin Qian unfastened the cosmic pouch from her waist. I've been saving for the past year and have collected 500,000 Yongquan coins, which I've been carrying with me. Let's talk privately. Before she could finish speaking, the cosmic pouch vanished from her hand and landed in Li Wei's grasp. Li Wei opened the cosmic pouch and checked. To his surprise, there were indeed 500,000 Yongquan coins inside, stored in 5 iron chests. His favor for Qin Qian greatly increased. She was a woman of her word. His rescue of her a year ago had not been in vain. Li Wei put away the cosmic pouch, feeling slightly satisfied. Do you have any other valuable items? Bring them all out. I have nothing left. To gather these 500,000 Yongquan coins, I even had to sell my spiritual artifacts. Qin Qian clenched her molars, seething with resentment, but dared not show it. If the person before her wasn't Li Wei but a true demonic path elder, any rash action would surely bring disaster. Nearby, Qishao and Tuoba Buchuo had thoroughly searched the 2 Thundercloud sect members, inventorying all their spiritual artifacts, treasures, and coins. The total value came to only 500,000 Yongquan coins. The bulk of their wealth was concentrated in 2 spiritual artifacts, which represented their entire fortune. You're all too poor. Seize their life tokens. We'll collect the debt later. Li Wei was gathering Yongquan coins to purchase Millennium Essence herbs, intending to quickly nourish the 7 little ones to the 4th heaven of the Dao Seed realm. The current demand was enormous. Despite Li Wei having saved them earlier, the 3 Thundercloud sect members now felt like they had been robbed by bandits, their hearts filled with hatred. Suppressing the burning rage in his heart, Zhao Qinfeng's malice surged. He calmly said, Senior, you can come with us to Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City. We're certain we can raise the remaining 1 million Yongquan coins. Elder Lin added, we can also host a banquet to thank our 3 saviors. Li Wei narrowed his eyes, seeing through their reluctance. He took the 3 life tokens from Qishao, a cold smile playing on his lips. Are you trying to thank your saviors, or kill them? Get out of here. Elder Lin and Zhao Qinfeng realized the old monster was highly vigilant. Abandoning their malicious intentions, they immediately flew towards Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City. Qin Qian walked slowly down the mountain, using spiritual energy transmission to say, the life tokens will expose your location. Within a certain distance, immortal realm great powers from the Thundercloud sect can use them to find you. Li Wei nodded slightly, acknowledging her warning. Then, a thought struck him, his own divine sun life token from the Rice sect. It would likely expose his location as well. He needed to store it in the blood mud space. Thank you. As Qin Qian reached the foot of the mountain, she heard those 2 words. Her entire body trembled. It really was him. The anger and resentment she had felt moments ago vanished completely. She turned sharply and looked back up the mountain, but Li Wei and the others were nowhere to be seen. The distance from Thunder Mausoleum, Liling City to southern Yan Pass was only 400 miles. Qi Xiao enveloped Li Wei and Qin Qian with his spiritual qi, carrying them through the night. By dawn, Li Wei's injuries had completely healed. In the distance, they could see southern Yan Pass, built into the mountains 20 miles away. The architecture stretched from the foot of the mountain to the summit, divided into 5 tiers. On the road, refugees streamed in from all directions, including martial mystic cultivators of the Five Seas realm. Even Dao Seed realm experts were relocating their entire families. In this chaotic era, various factions were recruiting soldiers and purchasing horses. As long as one possessed strength, they could secure a chance at survival. Five Seas realm martial mystic cultivators could protect themselves. Dao Seed realm experts could safeguard their families. Striving, struggling, migrating, risking their lives, compromising, barely surviving. The further one ventured into the wilderness, the more chaotic it became, and the more brazenly the dead spirit demon race acted. The most dangerous places were those without order. Therefore, everyone believed that the cloud heaven Yuntian immortal plane was currently the safest place in the Lingxiao realm. As a result, martial mystic cultivators from war-torn regions were converging there. Southern Yan Pass had already begun to tighten its security. Gaining entry was far more difficult than before. On the plains outside the pass, a 20-mile-long shantytown had sprung up, housing at least 1 million refugees. It had become a sprawling refugee city. A soldier on a powerful steed galloped past Li Wei and the others, shouting, "General Commander Tai Shi is recruiting soldiers to defend the pass." Martial mystic cultivators with 5 springs cultivation or higher, and who are listed in the Imperial Court's Commoner Register, may proceed to the recruitment point for assessment. 5 Seas realm martial mystic cultivators listed in the Imperial Court's Commoner Register and willing to undergo soul retrieval may participate in the Giant Spirit Army's assessment. When news of the military recruitment reached the refugee city, countless figures surged out, all hoping to secure a livelihood and a future. If they could seize this opportunity to enter the pass, it would be even better. Li Wei sighed inwardly. The large-scale conscription at southern Yan Pass was a clear sign that war was imminent. But how could martial mystic cultivators struggling on the brink of life and death afford to consider such matters? Regardless, the imperial court had at least sensed the danger and was actively responding. Not all the officials of the current dynasty were incompetent. Li Wei said, "The Twin Rice sect is using Zhou Bida's wife, daughters, and family as leverage, so he's bound to harbor resentment. My mission may be dangerous. Neither of you should enter the city. If I don't send word within 2 days, I've likely met with disaster. In that case, one of you must immediately return to either the Tuoba clan or the Qi clan and relay the information I've shared with you to the Snow Sword Tang court or the Zhuaoqiu sect. Of course, this means betraying the Twin Rice sect, which will trigger the death spirit fire within you. This means death. The other should return to the Twin Rice sect and inform Southern Venerable of what has happened here, so she can prepare accordingly. How you choose to proceed is up to you." Qi Xiao said, "Since there's danger, I'll go to the Zhou Manor." "Let me go," Tuoba Buchuo countered. Li Wei shook his head gently, "Don't argue. Both of you possess pure immortal physiques and formidable cultivation. Once you enter the pass, the imperial court will immediately take notice. Besides, this is just a precaution. If there were truly grave dangers, Master wouldn't have sent me to handle this." Li Wei held a certain level of trust in the Southern Venerable. The reason he hadn't immediately betrayed the Twin Rice sect and leaked the information was his greatest fear, harming her. Throughout the journey, he'd been pondering a solution that would allow him to have it both ways. After agreeing on a communication method, Li Wei entered the pass alone. The Cloud Heaven Yuntian immortal plane was already overcrowded, and southern Yan Pass was under strict control. Even 5 Seas realm martial mystic cultivators with commoner registers found it extremely difficult to enter. Li Wei never considered forging a commoner register or stealing one from a passerby. Southern Yan Pass was a critical military stronghold, undoubtedly under the close surveillance of the imperial court. Once he entered the Zhou Manor, various agencies would inevitably learn of his presence. The more he tried to conceal his identity, the more dangerous it would become. At the city gate, Li Wei used the transformation technique to reveal his identity as a spiritual master. He then presented a visiting card specially prepared by the Twin Rice sect. "I am here by invitation to pay my respects to Deputy Commander Zhou. Please be so kind as to deliver this card." Having learned from his previous mistake, Li Wei had disguised himself as a man in his 40s. The guards at the city gate dared not delay. After all, this was a spiritual master, most likely a guest of the Deputy Commander. Perhaps in the future, he might even be their direct superior. The visiting card was sealed with runes, which would be destroyed upon opening. Of course, no one would dare to tamper with it. Before long, an exotic beast carriage carried Li Wei into southern Yan Pass and headed toward the Zhou Manor. The driver was a personal guard of Zhou Bida. Southern Yan Pass was built along the mountains, stretching from the Fu Prefecture plains all the way to the peak of the Zhoushan Heavenly Vein. It covered an enormous area, yet lacked the bustling liveliness of a major city. Everything was orderly, solemn, and imposing. On either side of the streets were various shops, restaurants, carriage dealerships, medicinal pill stores, and spiritual artifact shops. The pedestrians were well dressed, most riding in carriages, a stark contrast to the refugee city outside. At every intersection and every boundary between city sections stood a formation tower. This pass served as one of the four main gateways and transit points to the cloud heaven Yuntian immortal plane. The imperial court had stationed 8,000 of its most elite 5C soldiers here. Legend had it that this giant spirit army, led by Tai Shi Qingkang, could withstand transcendence in an offensive and was as impregnable as a fortress in defense. Southern Yan Pass had 3 deputy commanders, Zhou Bida being one of them, responsible for formations and city defense. The exotic beast carriage slowly entered the Zhou Manor. Li Wei lifted the curtain to observe. The manor was vast, with snow-covered tree canopies and countless precious medicines and spiritual plants. Yet, there were no maids or household servants in sight, an eerie silence pervading the grounds. That was too easy, from entering the city to arriving at the manor. Li Wei frowned, quickly donning the governor's robe beneath his outer layers. If anything went wrong, he could immediately use the spatial power within the robe to escape. When entering the city, he had already assessed the formation light veil above the gate. It wasn't particularly strong, and with his current cultivation level, he could break through it. Normally, the formation wouldn't be fully activated. Suddenly, the exotic beast carriage stopped. The personal guard driving it announced, "Guest, we've arrived," and immediately departed, his footsteps fading into the distance. Li Wei cautiously dismounted and looked to his right. He saw the carriage had stopped before a moon gate. The white walls were covered in blooming plum blossoms, and the surroundings were serene and secluded. From within the gate, Hidden Lord's familiar voice called out, "Hurry and come in." Li Wei paused, his mind racing. Many lingering doubts instantly cleared, replaced by a surge of joy. He quickly stepped through the moon gate. The Hidden Lord, wearing a mask and with his hands clasped behind his back, stood in a pavilion at the edge of a cliff, gazing out at the vast, dark expanse of the refugee city sprawling across the plain beyond the city walls. Zhou Manor was located in a 4th-tier city, perched high on a hill with an expansive view. The entire Fu Prefecture plain stretched before them. Zhou Bida, a middle-aged man who appeared to be in his 50s, stood beside Hidden Lord. He had thick eyebrows, large eyes, and a towering physique, easily over 2 meters tall. Clad in heavy black armor, he turned first to scrutinize Li Wei. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.